now. Um, so remember, you'll have to use the chat now that I'm recording. Um, so hopefully you've gone over your notes, assembled your notes, started to fill in some gaps. We're going to keep going with that. Um, Honestly, putting information on paper and mapping it out on paper is the most successful thing that you could be doing for now and possibly for next week. Honestly, by next week, you'll probably be focusing more on skills. Um, End of this week, you should probably have most of your stuff um, in the notes. Um, in my Canvas Unit 11 page, uh, you have a couple of trivia assignments. I'm hoping you've already done them. If you haven't, it's not too late. But there's an explanation of how to make a map of environmentally well-known places, um, and also a list of well-known case studies of global environmental issues, stuff like phosphorus in a lake up in Seattle that sort of led the push for people to focus more about eutrophying surface waters with urban pollution or whatever. Um, that trivia, if you could identify any invasive species, laws, that kind of stuff, this would be the right time to expose yourself to as many of those as possible. I told everybody throughout the course of my class, and I'll tell you again, um, it's really tough to predict which particular trivia the College Board will ask you, but I can guarantee that they will ask you some weird persnickety question. Um, your odds are low. It's like a scattershot question, hoping that a couple of students nationwide will pick them up. But the more trivia that you gather, the better your chances on those. Um, I wouldn't want you to focus on that 3 or 4 days before the exam, but right now it probably helps firm up your general recall of environmental science topics. Um, and starting around now, maybe the next couple of days, um, I'd really like you to start doing multiple choice exams. Um, I want to show you something. In AP Classroom, I have assigned to all of my current students these exams. Thumbs up if you can see my shared screen from AP Classroom. Okay, cool. There's a set. I made questions organized by topic um, of the major College Board um, topic sets. So there's like a zillion questions about global change, and then a zillion questions about ecosystems, and then a zillion questions about like Earth systems, land energy, and then a whole bunch about the atmosphere and water pollution. And then there's a couple of practice exams by the College Board. If you like to do digital testing or you want to work on a computer while you're at school, um, you would have to sign into your AP Classroom account and it'll show as an assigned like a thing you're supposed to complete for the class. It won't affect our grade in APES, but on AP Classroom you'll see that. And some kids like to work on a computer. What's nice about these is that they'll automatically grade. So you can just go through them and then you would know which ones you got right and which ones you got wrong right away. If you don't want to work on your computer, you can also go to Unit 11 in Canvas and write, let me see where they are. I'm sorry. Yeah, right here. um, right there are three full AP environmental science exams. Back then they had 100 questions each. And these older exams from 2010, 2003, and 1998 um, had slightly different format from the current exam. The ones linked here resemble our APES exams in our class, where instead of a big passage with many questions, they're more short passage with one set of choices and then a separate topic. So these will look more familiar to you and frankly might be a little misleading compared to the current exam. But anyway, these are on paper. You can, or they're PDFs, so you can print them onto paper. You could use the printed Scantron that's attached to each of those if you'd rather work on paper. The reason that I want you to do multiple choice is not because I care about your exams, your scores. There is a sincerely, actually, no correlation between your score on these practice tests and your performance on the AP exam in May. I mean, really, you could ace these and fail in May. You could fail these and ace in May. Um, I really don't care what your score is, and you shouldn't either. What we're really trying to do is honestly get back to your notes. I want you to take these multiple choice exams, and if you know every question from the water unit, you probably don't need to look at the water unit. If you take these multiple choice exams and you do horrible on all these questions about energy, uh, you could blame your trashy teacher, but at least it helps you focus more attention on the energy unit. The goal of these practice multiple choice is not to evaluate your potential in May. It's to figure out which units um, I taught you for the exam and which units I left you hanging for the exam. 5 or 10% of all these, if you don't know it, who cares? But if you get like two or three multiple choice and you realize, holy crap, I don't know anything about water, um, blame your teacher and then go focus more on the water content. The goal of the multiple choice is for you to identify your weaknesses and then go back to your notes and beef up those relevant topics. I'd like you to do a chemistry day soon. I apologize. I realize these dates might be outdated. I think these are old dates, but um, anyway, I'd like you to do a chemistry day soon. Um, there's a number of chemistry topics that have come up in our course. There's also a chemistry review in the main AP review packet. In this thing, there's a section on chemistry. Um, so you're right about that part where I'd like you to start like gathering all your chemistry stuff at the end of this week. Um, by the time we hit next week, a week from today, your notes should mostly be gathered. We're like 2.5 weeks from the exam, so this week is multiple choice for the purpose of improving your notes, trivia assignments for the purpose of improving your notes, all the chemistry stuff just to get that all tidy in your notes. You could pick a highlighter color and just go through all the units and just use one highlighter color, little post-it tabs or whatever. Just find all the chemistry. And we're still working in your notes. By next week, um, you should really be practicing skills. By next week, I'm going to ask you to start picking apart free response questions and outlining the answers. I don't care if you have open notes, but that'll be a skill that you'll need to practice next week. By next week, you'll do the experimental design topic. You'll do some math practice. And next week will mostly be getting better at test skills. Um, and then the week after next is really those last few days when you're really just cramming, just like going through your notes. We'll have more to talk about on those days, but um, I also wanted to show you a couple of new things. Uh, AP Classroom, sorry, the College Board published um, some new videos today. Um, I hope you can see this on your screen. I know that I can see that a few of you are on iPhones. On a small screen, it might be difficult, but let me see. Maybe I can help. Hold on. On my shared screen now, you can see that these were published 14 hours ago, like at 6:30 in the morning today or something. Um, these resemble some things that I already showed you from previous years. Um, we were talking last week about the College Board's unit reviews, all this stuff, where they like go over a topic. But just this morning, they published these like review of their questions. There's like a teacher from another school who talks about um, some multiple choice question formats, um, reading sets. You can see this. They have like 3 videos on multiple choice questions, and then they have like 4 or 5 videos on free response questions. Um, as you can see, I looked at all of these. I felt a little anxiety when they discussed a topic that I thought might be foreign to some of my students. Obviously, this year's students haven't had the water unit or the atmosphere unit, but like when they would talk about some of the question content, I started to freak out like, oh crap, there's certain kids that won't know what the soul triangle is or whatever. Um, but then I thought like they do have really good suggestions about how to do the questions. I would probably place these videos in next week, not this week. But maybe if you're really ambitious and you got some time and you want to get ahead, I would like you to first of all do the stuff that I had planned, these things. But if you finish that before we meet again, you may want to check out these topics in the YouTube channel from the College Board. I'll put this link in the chat now. So if you wanted to save this somewhere, you should see it now in the chat. Um, okay, so I put stuff on AP Classroom for you. You should be practicing multiple choice questions, either in the review unit with a PDF or in AP Classroom. Um, you should get all your chemistry stuff together and you should try to pack in as much trivia as you can. Um, yeah, I've just put that in there. I've assigned all this. Okay. Um, let's see here. If anybody has a question on the tip of their tongue, maybe you could put it in the chat right now. If not, I'll stop recording. Question about something I said. Did I say something confusing? I've been running around all day, so I wasn't really focused on this until just now. Did I say anything confusing? I'm going to stop our recording.